Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession on the world's #1 chiropractic podcast. Before we dive into this powerful episode, please remember to subscribe to our channels and give us a 5-star rating on iTunes to continue hustling. This episode is brought to you by Peach State Payments, ethical processing, more profit, less stress. Chiro HD, more than an EHR, practice management simplified. Recover, new revenue, no compromise. Cool Blue VA, your virtual assistant. The Chiro Speaking Company, attract, educate, and convert. Chiro Spring, cloud-based, user-friendly software with all the essential features chiropractors need. OmniWave, redefining comfort and acoustic wave technology. The Chiro Hustle Podcast is sponsored by Chiro Health USA, ChiroScript AI, Chiro Moguls, Pure Chiro Notes, 5-Star Forge, Titronics, Sherman College of Chiropractic, Life Chiropractic College West, and the IFCO. Let's hustle.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 693 of the Chiro Hustle Podcast. I'm your producer, Luke Millette, and here's your host, James Chester.
So today we had the opportunity of interviewing Dave Major. And if you want to hear a real story about advocacy and inspiring the future of chiropractic, stay tuned for the full episode. Welcome back. This is another episode of the Chiro Hustle Podcast. Today I have Dave Major on with me. We were looking back in time, and he was number 9 on the Chiro Hustle Podcast. I can't believe it. But we were talking about that before we got going today, and how the profession of chiropractic really matters and the messaging around it really matters. So we'll get into that. We're going to talk about how to ignite the passion and the people for chiropractors, why you started. We're going to talk about, after 40 plus years for Dave, why chiropractic still. We might touch on a little bit of how he sees the future of chiropractic. Nothing too long into the time frames, but we're going to talk about that a little bit. And I know he's presented a lot of conferences over his career, and maybe we can talk a little bit about some of the his favorite places to present. And we're going to do some tips for chiropractic on marketing and marketers for chiropractors. We will talk a little bit about balance in life and practice, and how to inspire people to have a balanced home life and a balanced practice life, and make sure that they're both congruent. But before we jump into episode 693 of Dave Major, I'm going to let you know our big why. Why do we do what we do over here? Well, first things first is freedom of speech, as we know that that's so vital to what we do as a culture. Medical freedom and family health freedom. Those are so important. If you guys don't know where to go for those things, go find a chiropractor. Dave and I will help you if you need that guidance. We also support BJ Palmer Sacred Trust. If you don't know what that is, go to our show notes, click on it. You're going to learn more about chiropractic than you ever did before, I guarantee you, and you'll reignite your fire for this profession. And if you know a chiropractic student that needs this message, or a young DC, please share the show with them. Share this to people that need to understand philosophy, science, art, marketing, business, all the things with chiropractic. And last couple things, we do support subluxation-based chiropractic. I know they're taking off some of these campuses, and then the kids aren't understanding philosophy. So please share the show with them if they need philosophy. And we do believe in innate intelligence, universal intelligence, and educated intelligence. We believe that when man or woman, the physical, gets adjusted, it connects them to man or woman, the spiritual, and that creates the educated intelligence. And with that, this is episode 693. Dave Major, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Long time friends here. We've known each other for a long time. It was nice to meet someone like you that I'm like, I hope somebody younger comes along, because I just turned 70 in the spring. So I need some young people to come behind me. Well,
it's been fun to see our careers parallel each other. And every once in a while I give a good joke out there and I say, hey, do you know who my dad is?
I didn't know I had a son out there. Awesome.
But you know, you have built a great reputation for what you do for chiropractic, and it's great to be somebody that is in your zone and gets to know you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm very blessed. When people ask me how you doing, I go, I'm too blessed to be stressed and too annoying to be disappointed. How are you doing?
Yeah, you've always had a little rap for everything, man.
Exactly. They call me Grandpa Rapper.
So 40 years later, chiropractic? Why do you keep choosing chiropractic?
Well, because it actually, number one, changed my beautiful wife of 50 years, her life when she had migraines for years, taking Emitrek shots and Fairnoth codeine. And my best friend, Brad, to this day, he adjusted her, got out of Logan College and said, I can adjust her. I'm like, what? And then I'm thinking, well, she's okay. When she got so bad one time, I drove her to him and I said, I don't care if you paint your face and do a voodoo dance. I don't know what you guys do, but go ahead and, and so he adjusted her, and within maybe 10, 15 minutes, start lightening up. And it usually lasted maybe 2-3 days, depending. And, the room had to be dark, and it just really affected her. And it's hard to see her loved ones suffering. And when she started getting adjusted, I'm like, wow, this is amazing, but I don't need it. And I'm an ex-football player and wanted to be pro, never happened. But I'm like, coaching and stuff. And all of a sudden my hand went numb, and I turned my neck one time, and it's kind of stuck, and I couldn't hardly turn it. And so I went to the Cleveland Clinic, and they did an EMG, a needle EMG. And I said, man, that makes a grown man cry. And they said, you got some disc problems. And so I don't know if I was having surgery or what's going on. I was scared. And I said, Brad, can you crack me? He says, it's not a crack house, crack kills. I said, whatever, adjust me then. And even after 12 visits, it was, I'm like, no, you know what? You guys keep coming. And, man, it's a moneymaker. And he said, listen, it took a while. It's going to take a while. So about second visit after that, I was like, wow, totally changed my life. I thought, well, if I got to have surgery or whatever I got to have. And I was so excited. I asked him, do you have anything for me to do? I can help pass flyers out. And of course, I was more of a phys ed major. I'm a talker and not a marketing person. And I started bringing people in and referring. And he says, they had 6 clinics. I said, or 4 clinics. You want to do some marketing? We have some screening. And I did my first screening, didn't know much, just had a posture meter. I think I signed up 35 people, and about 29 became patients. I didn't know anything about it. I'm just like, hey, I was like this and I'm like this, but I started seeing people in a different light, getting gas, going down to Canton. I'll never forget the guy giving money for the gas. I looked and I was like, I'm checking him out, which I was. And I said, do you have scoliosis? He goes, how'd you know that? Your head was this way, your shoulders this way. And I'm looking at your belt line. So, and he goes, yeah. So I'm looking, and when you get a new car, Jim, and it's maybe a Lexus or whatever it is. Oh, there's a Lexus. There's a Lexus. Now you start seeing a Lexus. It's that, I forget what they call it again. I can't think, but.
Reticular activating system.
Yes, reticular activate. Yes. And so I started seeing everybody in a different light. Like, look at that kyphosis, lordosis. Look at them dragging their foot. So the marketing person with a marketing degree says, I'm all excited. Go, look at all the people we can help. Not like, look at all the people I can get in and get a bonus on. And she settled down. I get 1 or 2 because I said, man, we can help 20, 30 people. I didn't know. She goes, I get 1 or 2. I go, do you see what I see? I see dead people. They're walking like they don't know. They're not living. And so I just kind of ignored her, went on the other side and just start, hey, how you doing? And I come home and told Monica, I'm a big Rocky fan. So I'm like, hey, yo, Adrian, I think I'll quit my job and be a screener. How much does it pay? I don't know. But to see people's face light up that they had hope, back then, now we're talking 80, 81. I don't want to hear how old you were then. But anyways, they never heard the message. And back then the message was more, chiropractic, the majority of people, and some were like, well, I'm thinking about it, or hey, my uncle went and he liked it. So they offered me a job, but I prayed about it, went back to work, and a couple months later, I just I got to do this. It felt so like that was my calling, and I've been doing it ever since. And I just love seeing all the people and the face. And now here's the problem, too, because now the problem is more people are going to chiropractors. I heard good things, and there's still some negative, but that's the minority now. they're like, yeah, I go, hey, I love my chiropractor. I go, good. But some still have some bad experiences, which you're going to get that. But I don't shy away from it. I just want to, well, wait, let me talk to you. People just want to hear and talk, and you want to show that I care about you, not about whether you sign up or not. Even if they don't, I say, hey, well, listen, do you know a little bit more about chiropractic than you did for here? More positive? They're like, yeah, I never knew that. I said, people are negative by nature, and what they don't understand, they're against. So they understand. When understanding comes with good communication, guess what? Then they get it. The best words you can hear at a screening is, that makes sense. 3 powerful words. That makes sense. And if it makes sense, they're going to sign up. If it doesn't make sense, I'll go, what's holding you up, Jim? There's something still holding you back. Well, my friend heard that, blah, 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 that they broke their neck or did something. I go, listen, you have more. Here's the 4 main causes of stroke. Painting the ceiling for hours for the next stroke, backing out of a driveway, okay, and backing out of a driveway, and then getting your hair washed. They put your neck back in that sink, they bend it, and then they twist it, and it's just all of those different ones. I'm trying to think of the 4th one, but I'm getting all excited. But there's just natural stuff. And again, I don't say this all the time, but I just like to throw it out so people can learn from this podcast. It's like, if they get really, if anything gets heated, I try to like calm it down and say, well, then, just move along. But I'll say, do you know the difference? How much do we pay for malpractice? $1,000 to $2,000, $1,500. I said, and a medical doctor, which they're trying to help, I'm not, downing them, $100,000. So why do you think they pay almost 100 times more? It's more dangerous, more risky. So don't tell me about that. Anyways.
So let me go a different path with you a little bit. Do you like selling? Is that something that you always had, or did you have to develop that?
See, and here's the thing. I like to switch that. And I know what you mean, and you weren't being, I love to educate. And if I own something, like my mom always used to say, Dave can sell ice cubes to Eskimos if he thought it was going to help them. If I don't believe it 100%, I'm not going to be passionate. They hear the words, but they see my passion, my energy, my enthusiasm. And honestly, it's always been a thing. I grew up in a very tough family. I mean, my mom left when I was 9 years old. We were very poor. I'd have to get on the phone and talk to Sears because my dad didn't pay the bill, and I would go bada bing, bada boom. I'm the baby of the family. I had that gift. And I've always, even football, I sold like 25, 30-foot flag poles. They're like, because I didn't know all these techniques. I would just have a boombox playing the Star Spangled Banner. And I'm like, can't you feel it? You need to buy, it's just been a part of me. And I really thank God, because that's my gift. But I tell people, if they don't have that gift, you see, once you get the person to realize what it's all about, just like the old saying of someone crossing and there's a I-beam across 10 stories up, and they say, come across and get your baby. And they're like, come across, walk across, sorry. And the wind's blowing, like, I can't do that. And then they hold up there, we have your baby. You walk across, boom, they walk across, they do it. Once they get the big idea, like BJ says, it's no problem. I've had people come to me and like, well, I can't really sell. I said, no, listen, I don't want you selling. I don't like when people sell. I like when people talk to me and they take an interest in me, and what they have could help my health. And so if you have for the right reason, it's like swimming downstream. But if you don't have the right reason, it's tough.
Well, that's good. That's a lot of info there for chiropractors and marketing, and marketers for chiropractic. That was a area I was hoping to go with you. Now, I guess this is a good opportunity for me to ask you, like, let's future pace this game a little bit. You love sports, you love games. I think we're in a new chapter, a new game with 2025 coming around the corner. What do you see over the next 4 years with what's possible with chiropractic?
I think a huge success in chiropractic, because with the internet and all that, and the way this whole thing has happened, people want to be healthy. And if you talk about the principle of chiropractic, it's not for back pain and, snap, crackle, pop, it's for quality of health, improving the function of your central nervous system, because your central nervous system controls and coordinates every cell, tissue, muscle, and organ in your body and adapts it to its environment. So when they get the concept, just like back when the flu, the epidemic, and I think, Bill, what's his name? Not Bill, who's the researcher that is very good. I mean, he's still alive. He's out of California. I shouldn't think of the name.
Chiropractor?
Yeah, that does a lot of research. And but anyways, about when they talked about the epidemic flu, and
was it Billy DeMoss?
No. Anyways, no one got sick that was healthy, and the chiropractic was something that really, it was more back then, not about back pain, my back hurts. It's more about sickness and ear infections and all that stuff. So when they understand how important the central nervous system is, and that's what a lot of my materials do, my stress tests, my health is a journey book, all that, I write it simple, just like you and I were non-DCs and Bill Estep. And a lot of times we come from a patient's point of view, like his book is. And, we need to share that message. But yeah, so once they get that message, no matter if because I've trained a lot of screening groups. That clinic I started with, 4 clinics, we had 12 by the time I left. I opened 8 more clinics. I had screening teams. It just went gangbusters. But my main screener was kind of shy, but her migraines went away. She couldn't believe it. Why didn't anybody tell her? She's so mad that, 20 years took pills and shots. And she's like, wow. I said, because they didn't know. They just didn't know, So I get mad sometimes. They'll say, you know what, chiropractors or screeners, you've had hundreds, and especially chiropractors, thousands of hours of schooling and seminars and all the knowledge you have, and you expect someone that has no clue what chiropractic is, and you're going to tell them one thing and they're going to go, hallelujah, I'll take this for life. It's a constant education, connecting to their pain point, what it is, and then filling that need with the education.
You made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession on the world's #1 chiropractic podcast. This episode is brought to you by Peach State Payments, ethical processing, more profit, less stress. Chiro HD, more than an EHR, practice management simplified. Recover, new revenue, no compromise. Cool Blue VA, your virtual assistant. The Chiro Speaking Company, attract, educate, and convert. Chiro Spring, cloud-based, user-friendly software with all the essential features chiropractors need. OmniWave, redefining comfort and acoustic wave technology. The Chiro Hustle Podcast is sponsored by Chiro Health USA, ChiroScript AI, Chiro Moguls, Pure Chiro Notes, 5-Star Forge, Titronics, Sherman College of Chiropractic, Life Chiropractic College West, and IFCO. Well, that's one of the things that I hear a lot because I've done tons of screenings also. And I think this would be a fun episode for people to dive into, just because how much work we've actually done at events and met with people and the millions of people's lives we've changed together. But when I think about it, like, how do you respond to somebody that comes to you and they're like, well, if I heard if I go to the chiropractor once, I have to go the rest of my life.
Okay. Let me ask you something, Jim. Do you eat healthy?
Most of the time.
Most of the time, everybody has a little bit, slips and falls. Are you just going to do it for a day or two or 1 week?
Well, I think you should probably try to do it for a long time.
What about brushing your teeth? You're just going to do it after you get your teeth cleaned one time and say, okay, I'm set for life? No, every day you have the stress of eating and stuff. Do you work out? Yeah. How long are you going to work out for? Just a day or two? Muscle has memory. The body has memory. We got to break that pattern. That's where my stress test is powerful. When I was in Hong Kong, the fiance of the doctor goes, hey, you know what? I've been engaged with you a year and a half. I've been coming all the time because you're going to be my husband. And I like the feel of it. She's a yoga instructor, but I understand why after taking the stress test of my physical chemical from childhood, adult, teenage years, I've had it for 21 years. We went back and looked at this test, and I realized for 21 years until I met you, I built up physical, chemical, emotional stress. It's not going to happen overnight, and so to unbreak that pattern. But I'm going to have stress the rest of my life. Yes. So then stress causes subluxation. How long should I be adjusted? She goes, for the rest of my life. She was excited. She knew why. Here's a famous saying. Write it down. N-O, know why, no comply. If they don't know the why, they don't comply. So if you're wondering why they're not complying, they don't know the why. You haven't made their why strong enough for them to make a decision.
Yeah, I think it's important for people to understand so much about why chiropractic isn't just a one-off. The miracle adjustment, yeah, they happen, like you said with your wife, but there's also those people that are so, like, I think today, I'll help answer that question with my perspective. I think today, Dave, we have a more challenged group. People have chronic illnesses and really entrenched chronic conditions, and we have a sicker population. And my ethos is with what I do is I tell people this all the time. Most of the reason people don't go to chiropractic consistently is because they don't know where to go, who to trust. And I say, you come see us. You get your first 2 visits. This is what it looks like: exam, consultation, health history, neurological eval. We're going to do some muscle testing, some orthopedic work, x-rays if needed. Come back to that second visit. We're going to tell you what we found, the concerns, and then we're going to tell you how we can help you. At that point, it's our job to earn your business the old-fashioned way by rendering you a great service. And if you like us, you think we're a good fit, you'll stick with us. If you come in for these first 2 visits, you realize it's not the right place for you, there's no strings attached for further care. But I guarantee you one thing, Dave, you're going to like us. So I build that rapport, and I answer that question long-term. But I say, look, when you come in to see this doctor, all I ask you to do is take the recommendations. Because what's happened up to this point, you told me nothing's worked. So if this person says this is the thing that we're going to do for you and you need to do it, I was like, just listen. Maybe this one time in your life that you'll just take the advice of somebody and stick with it. I was like, because that's really what they're going to do for you, is they're going to earn your trust, and we're going to take care of you. And I say, probably by about your 7th visit coming to see us, you're going to become our number 1 referral source.
Yeah.
So yeah. I package into these people that it's not a bad thing to be under care, that it's okay to listen to somebody with authority that wants to help them. And then I tell them they're going to become a funnel system for us by telling everyone about us after they've started care with us. So I think that's how I talk, but I know today, Dave, that people are not healthy. No. I know that our net is wide. Like, the people out there are sick and suffering, and they have hesitancy towards all medical providers. Mm-hmm. And they're just silently suffering, man. They're just limping around, like you said, the Walking Dead. They have neck pain, back pain, knee pain, ankle pain. They're just pain. Yeah. And they come and see one of us lunatics out there waving at everybody, and they're like, what is this guy up to? And then they come talk to us, and then they think, and they're like, could this be for me? And I say, well, there's a reason that God sent you over here today. Like, you're standing in front of me for a reason. I was like, you could be at any booth right now talking to anybody about anything, but there's a purpose that you're here today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What my definition of coincidence is? It's when God remains anonymous. So I'll say, you're here for a reason. It's a coincidence, not just coincidence. God orchestrated this. And, you're exactly right. When they see that. Now, one thing I like to add, that I say, everything's perfect, you said, but one thing I add, and some people don't like it, and that's okay. But I go, and Jim, if it's not chiropractic, we'll refer you out. We'll get you the help that you need. Because my one friend, one of the clinics I ran 12 clinics, said, I didn't know he had my cousin in there, Mary Ann, after a week of adjustment and something didn't seem right, he sent her out. She had a brain tumor. He said, if you didn't send her out, she would have died. And so how much power is that? Now, after they get whatever they need, maybe medically, which, then you say, come back here so we can have your body function and everything get back to normal. Okay. Because, and the only reason you can see all that is I have the best screening form ever. And if anybody out there that's part of Jim's podcast, I'll give you my screening form free. You contact me, I'll send it to you. I've done that for 40 years. I've tweaked, and Parker College for 10 years, I trained for their state fair in Texas, and they used to get 10 to 15 signups in a 2-week period at the state fair. They broke all kinds of records each year. They now get about 270 people paying $30 to come in because I use a screening form and do my procedure. And it's just amazing. And it makes sense. It's not like you sell them. If you go too fast and they don't understand the why, they're going to walk away. Even if they sell, even if they sign up, they're going to not show, or they're going to come back. I want my money back. That's why the husbands, when they're there, I say, come here, listen. And I said, what do you think? Do you want your wife to continue to suffer, or do you want to come in? And, and it's true. I don't do it as a sell thing. This is reality. And I go, thank you very much. I even get up and hug them, say, thank you, because this is your woman. This is your love life here. And you can't have her all messed up. So I just, and it's exciting. You and I both, we saw each other at the Boulder, we're talking, and some people say, why are you doing this? I said, because people are dying. They need to hear the message. I'm sure you had a bad experience, and I'm sure you do. So I guarantee you, and you and I both, we qualify the chiropractors we work for. We're not just going to work for somebody that's going to, and I'm going, I guarantee you that won't happen here. And I go, hey, Jim, do you ever have a bad haircut? Yeah. Do you keep going that person? Go to somebody else. I said, everyone has different philosophy and different methods, and you will know, like you said, you will know for sure once you go through the process. Once you get to that point where you got to make a decision, you'll know if this is the right fit for you or not.
Well, let's round out today's show with some inspiration for people too. I know that we were talking earlier about like home life and the practice life and how to keep those balanced. Maybe you can share some wisdom with people of how you've done that for 50 years.
Okay. All right. I just want to give a shout out to you asked me about mentors, and I tell you what, since I'm older, some, Reggie Gold, great friend, Siga Foose, we almost opened clinics together. Patchen Temple, Chris Kent, Fred Barge. Fred actually drove from Wisconsin to come out because I had so many schools and scoliosis screenings, and he came out to teach. So I really give a lot of, how can I say, kudos to those guys. But so here's the key. If you go to my group on Facebook, Inspire the Person, Impact the Profession, my thing, and for you TS people out there, 7,000 people in Total Solution in 19 years. They came thinking they were going to learn more, which they did, about the insight, which I'm co-developer of. I created the symmetry chart on that machine, but they came and they walked away a better person. They let go of the baggage that holds them back. I always say, doctors, heal thyself, but you need to constantly personally grow, constantly be training your staff, and implement all the things you hear here and with all Jim's podcasts, because let me tell you something. If you're not getting hugs and getting tugs at home, let me tell you, I lived through it for a couple of years because I was a jerk and was so busy and worried about working and helping chiropractors that I kind of put my family third or fourth down the list in chiropractic, and God was not even around. It's because everybody says, how do you marry 50 years? I said, God, family, and job. That's how I did it. And even though you might be in a messy situation now, let me tell you, get yourself right. Okay. Because when you get yourself right, your practice becomes right. People would go home, they would double their practice. They were getting ready to close their doors. Why? Because we had time of sharing. They let go of things that they had for years and years. Gentleman, I won't mention his name, in Canada, he he had a terrible time with his dad for 10 years and never apologized. And guess what, Jim? He came to a solution. I played I Believe I Can Fly. Everyone knows that out there. I did sign language. He called his dad and said, Dad, and he was at 140 for like 10 years. And Dad, get this, Jim, how sad. His dad worked in the same building as he did as a dentist. And he said, Dad, I need to see you after my morning shift that's on Tuesday. His dad thought maybe he had cancer. First time my son called me. His dad came in, he hugged him, started crying. I love you, Dad. I'm sorry. We need to heal this. I'm talking health and wellness and healing. And I have this unhealthy, family thing going on. Swear to God, the guy went up to 350 that at the end of that year, just because that was a block there. I'm telling you what, your personal life affects your practice life. There's just no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And that's what a lot of my coaching would do. I coach now and I love it because there's no better feeling to come home from a great day at the office and have kids come up and hug you and your wife and have a great, look forward instead of saying, I don't want to go home. I hate my home. It's just not a healthy thing. So if you want a healthy practice, get the family healthy, get your personal life healthy. And I'm telling you what, and the thing is, Jim and I talked about this earlier. Here's my biggest pet peeve. Knowledge is not power. Everybody goes, knowledge is potential power. I can tell you, Jim, how to have a good relationship with your woman, date night, do all this, give you a manual with step-by-step. Jim goes, puts it on the shelf, doesn't do it, doesn't implement it, okay? And I have a poem, well, I won't say it. Okay, I'll say it maybe later. But wisdom is knowledge. Look in the definition in the dictionary. Wisdom is knowledge rightly applied. The application of the information gets you to get a change in your life. So, and Jim told me a very important fact, which I'll use from now on. It takes 6 to 18 months to implement. That's right. Why? Why you get exasperated and burn out? Because knowledge without implementation causes exasperation, and so you got to implement what you learn. So I tell you what, it brings me endless sorrow. I always say, perhaps I'll do it, perhaps tomorrow. And I told Jim I should, and then I should all over myself, and they're incompletes, and it doesn't happen. So my beautiful wife that's in the other room, met her when she was a freshman. I was a junior in high school, 1970. And doesn't matter where you've been. If you messed up, I messed up, biggest mess up here, but I got myself right. Doesn't matter where you've been right now. It matters where you go from this point forward. You have a choice, the choice to implement all these great things you hear in this knowledge, because that's when it becomes power. Okay. Even the Bible says, Paul said, don't just hear what I say. This is in the Bible, but do what I say, because he that hears and doesn't do, it's like he that looks in the mirror when he turns away forgets. But he that looks into the Bible intently, into the Word of God, and does what it says will be blessed. You want blessings in your life? You want prosperity in your life? Do what you know you need to do. Because successful people do what other people are not doing. That's why they're successful. So, get what's the old saying about Buttercup? Suck it up, Buttercup. Yeah, that's a good one. And do it. Now, even if you don't do it, and I say this to myself, anything worth doing is worth doing poorly. Did Alexander Graham Bell make the pocket phone, the cell phone? No. Barbaric. Okay. Did the Wright brothers make the stealth bomber? No. But they started with something and it evolved. My speaking for 40 years, and I've spoke all over the world. And guess what? It took me 1 or 2 seminars. No, it took me. I'm still learning. If I sat right now and said, "Oh, I've got it made," no, I still learn. I still want to grow. Tony Robbins, constant, never-ending, improvement. I'm always wanting to improve all the time. So that's my thing. Please look at yourself. Be vulnerable. Be honest with yourself. It's a strength to say, "Honey, I'm sorry," or whatever. "I'm sorry, I'm wrong," and move on. You're not responsible for their response. You're responsible to take what you know and take action, because nothing's going to happen with everybody not opening up and putting their heart on their sleeve and trying to make it better. Because the kids are seeing it. Today, my son's a pastor of a church, doing great. My daughter's a math intervention specialist. I mean, and they're impacted, the church, the people in church. She's impacting students, which I'm a crier. I cry all the time. They're like, "Oh, Miss Patton," that's her last name now. I had you in fourth grade. I'm 22 now. You were my best teacher. You changed my life. So my kids, they take examples from their parents. And my wife's amazing too. So she worked for years in chiropractic office. And I love my life. Don't tell me how much money you make. Tell me all the memories you have with your personal life.
Dave, you're 70 years young, over 40 years working in chiropractic. You look amazing. I love you sharing so openly today. It's really an honor to be able to link up with you. This is the 4th time you've been on the Chiro Hustle podcast. You are part of the first 10, number 9.
Top 10.
If you guys ever want to learn more about the history of Dave Major, go back and listen to episode number 9. And the other 2, one was in 2018 and one was in 2021. So it's great to have you back on right before the new year and Christmas of 24. Just really thankful for you and all that you do. And I know you said you're doing some coaching. Are you taking new clients still?
Yeah, I have an opening for at least five more, maybe 10. I don't know. I'm trying to work that out. And I do some coaching with Dr. Mike Gandolfi as well. We have my chiropractic coach. And so, yeah, contact me. We could do, and what's great is Mike has a 210 retention. He's a good educator, and we kind of are different. I'm the Mr. Game face, passion, and he's more got all the systems. So it's really great. So you can contact me. I do have posters and materials. You can look at my website, Dave Major Game Face. Major's Mager, which you see right there, and everybody, not Major. But when I spoke in Quebec, they said Major. I didn't know my name was Canadian, Major. So I have posters, and my famous poster is the Feeling versus Function. It's in Spanish, French. I don't know how many, about 5 languages. About feelings only 10%. It's not how you feel, it's how you function. So it's awesome.
Well, let's close people out today with a miracle story that you've seen somewhere in your career. I know you shared about your wife, you shared about yourself, you shared about your children. You talked about some marketing and some of the personal belief systems. But what is one person that you've seen over your course of your career that you've helped into chiropractic that their life changed forever?
Yeah, there are so many that I can think about. And, there's one lady who, and she's came in from a screening, and it was the last person. I was working in Indiana for Illinois for Dr. Gandolfi in can't think of where, it doesn't matter, Charleston. And she was hit by a semi, and the car threw her and was hit by another semi. And for almost 20 years, she, and I almost I almost said no. They said a tornado's coming, but she looked so like she needed it so bad. So I always say God saves the best for last. And I'll give you the testimony in my notes. But anyways, she came up and I did a scan and she was black. I mean, it was terrible. Her husband and her were ready to get in a divorce. She was on all kinds of medication. She had no life. She didn't want to live. And she went in to Dr. Gandolfi's office. And I tell you what, I did a talk about a month later, a dinner talk for him. And guess who comes up? I said, anybody want to share what Dr. Gandolfi's done for you through chiropractic? She walked up. Of course, I started crying. I'm a big crier. She said, I got my life back. My husband and I were going for walks. I feel like a different person, like I woke up from a sleep of 20 years of being on drugs. I mean, Can you imagine that? If she never heard the message and never came up at a screening, guess what? She'd probably be dead by now. Patch and Temple, I said, if Dave, when I used to work out in Seattle, I had a clinic out there. She said, if Kurt Cobain's mom might have came by at a screening and learned about it, Kurt Cobain could have still been alive. He was on ADD because he was so creative that they wanted to dumb him down with drugs, and you just think of all the things that could have been. And this lady hugged me, just weeping, crying. I mean, how can you put a price on that? And let me tell you, people out there, I see people now, like I'm going to go to a funeral in a couple hours, but I see people, and we have a hug fest. It's a group of class of 72. We get together. All these people that never had chiropractic care, you should see them like, this and that. And I'm like, the benefit of 40 years of getting adjusted. I mean, I touch my toes, I got the energy, I move, I don't go like, it's crazy. I see more benefit now of long-term chiropractic than ever before in my own personal life. So I just, if you don't tell them, you don't see them. So yeah, so that girl was powerful. And I'll tell you a sad story why you need to tell it real quick. I was in Memphis and this girl, I did a scan and she didn't tell me what was going on, but I said, wow, the low back was really, out and stuff. And I said, this kind of controls this and this and uterus and stuff. And she just said, what? And she said, and I said, so if that nerve wasn't working, then my uterus wasn't working, whatever. Here she had one kid. She wanted two. And she had back pain, probably from the birth in labor and holding, and never tried chiropractic. And they gave her a hysterectomy. And here all the time was just a subluxation. She started crying really profusely. Like, if I would have came here first, I wish somebody would have told me. So.
Amen. Dave, I love you. You're episode 693. If you want to work with Dave, go to mychiropracticcoach.com. Check him out on socials.
Right now it's almost, sorry, so I do want to interrupt you. It's almost up and running. We're doing a bunch of stuff. And so for sure, if you're interested in that, just contact me at davemajorgameface@gmail.com.
Okay. davemajorgameface@gmail.com. Check him out. Dave, you're a tremendous powerhouse in this profession. Thankful to be able to share some time with you today. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. And it's really awesome to connect with you.
Definitely. Hey, and guys, this guy's awesome. Oh, there, you see, I got to learn how to go. But anyway, so thank you, Jim, for all you do. And look forward to, either coaching you or coming out. The one thing that like Jim does too, I come out and I'm not doing too much traveling, but if you have a screening, I could even train you or your associate doctor. And also I get into places, schools and different things for screening. So let me know. But thank you, Jim. Keep it on, brother.
All right, man. Well, have a great day. And I'll close out by telling everybody, you guys are just one story away. Keep hustling. I'll see you guys on the next episode.
Can I do my game face? 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Game face.
Game face.
That's right. Get your game face on. Take care. Bye-bye.
See you, Dave. Thanks for listening to Chiro Hustle. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.